Okay, let's dive into this. You sent over something pretty provocative. It's an old manual, The Complete Guide to Handling Women by Wayne Ross.
Yeah, provocative is definitely the word. Even the title, Handling Women, it feels very much from another time, doesn't it?
Totally. But the hook, I mean, it grabs you. It talks about these huge divorce stats, 50%, maybe even 75% later, and then pins like over 90% of relationship failures on the guy,
Hmm.
saying it's because men just don't get how to make women happy. That's a huge claim. It definitely makes you stop and, pay attention.
It does. And this idea of a guide, like it's a set of instructions, a formula almost for relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's immediately interesting to unpack.
Right.
And Ross, he sets himself up as someone who really struggled at first, called himself very homely, shy, bad first marriage, not much dating experience.
Okay.
But then, supposedly, he figured it all out, discovered these rules, and claims he ended up with, and this is his phrase, dozens of women in love with him.
Dozens, wow.
Yeah. So this manual is meant to be him sharing those secrets.
Okay. And you were curious, right? What are the main ideas? Anything surprising in this very direct approach?
Definitely.
So let's start where he starts. Why do men lose women after just a few dates? His big answer, it's simple, boredom.
Boredom, yeah. He thinks guys just fall into these super predictable patterns. You know the ones.
Oh, yeah. Movie, dinner, drinks, rinse and repeat.
Exactly. And women just check out. He argues you need something different.
What's the fix, then?
He calls them magical, memorable dates. The idea is to create experiences that are really unique, stuff that sticks with her, makes her daydream about you.
Okay, so give me some examples. What counts as magical?
Well, he gets specific. Dancing is a big one.
Dancing. Really?
Yeah, he claims women just inherently love a guy who can dance. It's sensual, exciting. He even tells a story about this guy, Roger, whose dating life apparently turned around just by asking women to dance.
Huh. That's interesting. It's definitely stepping outside the usual first date script, isn't it?
That's the point, I think. It's unexpected. Creates a different kind of connection, maybe more physical, playful, than just sitting across a table.
Makes sense. What else?
Another big one, amusement parks.
Okay. Like roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah. His thinking is it taps into that fun, maybe slightly childish energy, shared excitement, builds a memory.
Right. A shared emotional experience. Joy.
Huh?
Thrills. You associate that with the person.
Exactly. He tells another story. Richard and Lori. She thought Richard was kind of boring at first.
Yeah.
He takes her to Disney World, and boom. Best date ever, apparently. Completely changed her mind.
Disney World on a first date. That's ambitious.
Definitely ambitious. But it illustrates the principle. He also mentions, like, a spontaneous Sunday picnic or even a helicopter ride.
Whoa. Okay, helicopter rides might be out of reach for most first dates.
Probably. But even small things like bringing a little gift, a piece of candy, a nice card, maybe a flower, just showing thoughtfulness, generosity.
That's more down to earth. So thoughtfulness seems key.
It is. Which leads right into what he says is the biggest mistake men make on a first date.
Which is?
Basically the exact opposite, being way too aggressive, coming on too strong,
Yeah.
acting like a, well, his words are sex-crazed idiot.
Oof. Blunt.
Very. He includes this story from a woman, Tina, about a date who was just awful. Leering at her, groping her in the cinema, being crude.
Yikes. Yeah, that paints a picture. Pretty clear turnoff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Ross's advice is simple. Don't rush the physical stuff, especially not on date one.
Right.
Women want respect, consideration. They want someone different. Being desperate for sex. Huge turnoff, according to him. He even flips it.
Flip to how?
Says taking it slow can actually signal you're a more skilled lover.
Interesting angle.
Okay,
Wow.
taking it slow. That brings us to one of his, let's say, more unique techniques, the D technique. What's that about?
Ah, yes. The D technique stands for dangling.
Dangling.
Yep. The core idea is you deliberately delay any sexual advance until, like, the 7th or 8th date, maybe even longer.
7th or 8th date.
Yes.
Seriously. Seriously. This is where Ross says he personally had a huge breakthrough. He claims when he started acting like he wasn't really sexually interested early on, the women became more interested, sometimes aggressively so. His word was they'd attack him.
Okay, wait. So the psychology is what? Playing hard to get?
Kind of.
Uh-huh.
He says it creates a challenge. If she thinks maybe she doesn't appeal to you sexually, she'll supposedly try harder to prove that she does.
That feels a bit manipulative, maybe.
It could be seen that way. He shares another story of the guy named Doug, divorced, overweight, having trouble getting second dates.
Right.
Doug tries this dangling thing, just relax, not pushy about sex, makes no moves for several dates. And apparently, attractive women started approaching him.
So it's about managing perceived interest. Don't seem too eager.
Exactly. Introduce some mystery. If you're not obviously trying to get her into bed straight away, it makes you different, maybe more intriguing.
And he says this dangling isn't just about sex, right?
Correct. It extends to overall attention. Don't call every night. Let her know you date other people, maybe subtly. Maintain that sense of being a bit of a challenge, a mystery.
Okay. Be less available, increase perceived value, like basic economics almost.
Sort of, yeah. Create a little scarcity, can amplify interest sometime.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift to the very beginning of meeting someone. The first 60 seconds. He thinks that's critical.
Absolutely critical. He reckons that first minute basically decides everything. If she's going to respond positively or not.
And the goal in that minute.
Capture her unconscious attention positively.
Uh-huh.
Project humor and honesty. That's his formula.
How do you do that in 60 seconds?
He suggests a few ways. One is just asking for help.
Asking for help? Like, excuse me, can you help me find...
Exactly. Directions, advice on cooking something, help picking a gift for your mom, anything really.
Yeah.
His theory is women like to be helpful. It creates an instant, easy interaction.
Okay, I can see that. What else?
Just being honest. Like, oh, I just thought you were really pretty, wanted to meet you. Direct.
Takes guts, but yeah, honest.
And then humor. Just smiling, making a light joke about anything, the weather, the music, whatever. He tells a story about meeting a woman, Linda, at a dance. She looked unapproachable.
Mm-hmm.
He made a dumb joke about the wall. Apparently, that was it. Brought the ice, they went out.
A joke about the wall. Okay, so diffuse awkwardness, basically. Be positive, non-threatening.
Pretty much. Humor, honesty, asking for help.
Yeah.
They all kind of do that, lower the defenses.
He also mentioned something really weird his cousin did with stuffed animal.
Oh, yeah. His cousin David. Apparently, he used to take stuffed animals into bars or restaurants to start conversations.
No way. Did that actually work?
According to Ross, yes. Because it was so unusual, different. It made people curious, drew them in. It just highlights that be different idea again.
Definitely different. Okay, next point. This one surprised me a bit. The most important gift a guy can give a girl isn't jewelry or flowers.
Nope. According to Ross, it's friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah. He argues that a lot of women really want male friends, and that relationships built on that foundation, on actual friendship, are stronger and more satisfying.
That makes sense, like having a real connection beyond just romance.
Exactly. He warns against only focusing on seduction and missing the friendship part. He even shares a personal regret.
Oh, yeah.
About a girl in college, Bonnie. He only saw her as a friend, didn't realize she might have felt more, and missed his chance because he wasn't tuned into the value she placed on their friendship itself.
That's quite insightful, actually. Building connection first.
Yeah, and that ties into his section on romance.
Right. What's his take on romance?
Pretty straightforward. Women crave it, and most men are apparently terrible at it.
Okay. Harsh, but maybe fair sometimes. So how does he say guys should be romantic?
It's classic stuff, mostly. Taking her for a walk somewhere nice, holding hands, talking about dreams. You know, real connection.
Sounds nice.
A memorable first kiss, not rushed at the door, but maybe a thoughtful moment earlier. Complimenting her looks. But he specifically says, used pretty, not beautiful at first.
Pretty, not beautiful. Why?
Interesting, right? Maybe pretty feels less intense, more approachable early on. He doesn't fully explain, but it's a specific instruction. And small gifts, romantic cards, not just on birthdays.
So consistent thoughtfulness, creating special moments.
Exactly. Traditional, but maybe effective for a reason.
Okay, now brace yourself. This next section, how to get any woman you want. Sounds a bit much.
It does sound intense. The core idea is what he calls persistent pursuit.
Persistent pursuit meaning?
Meaning, he claims no woman can resist a man who pursues her consistently, sincerely, and in a programmed way, like a determined campaign.
A campaign, wow.
He says women love being chased, wooed, wanted. It's a fundamental desire, in his view.
Okay, that feels like it could easily cross a line, doesn't it? Between romantic pursuit and stalking.
Absolutely, and it's really important to stress that. He gives this extreme example of a guy, Joe, who supposedly won over a woman who was engaged to someone else.
How?
Through these incredibly elaborate, non-stop romantic gestures, stuff that today might seem questionable, definitely boundary pushing.
Yeah. So we're presenting this as his example of persistence, not like advice to follow literally.
Exactly. It's in the manual as an illustration of his concept of relentless pursuit. But yeah, the line between persistent and problematic is crucial here. What one person sees as romantic, another could see as harassment. needs huge caveats.
Huge caveats, got it. Okay, moving on. How to talk to women. What's the secret there?
It's actually pretty sensible advice, this part. The key, get her talking about what she's interested in, ask good questions, listen actively.
Sounds like basic conversation skills.
It is. Start safe. Work, school, music, then ask follow-up questions. Show genuine interest.
What not to talk about.
He says, avoid sex, past girlfriends, religion, politics. At least initially. Keep it light. And again, use humor, funny stories, jokes. Avoid boring stuff like, I don't know, science lectures.
Right. Keep it engaging. Focus on her. Makes sense.
Then he gets into using psychology on good-looking women.
Okay, psychology. How so?
It's about influencing her thinking by figuring out and meeting her needs, which you figure out by listening and observing, see?
So pay attention. Understand what she values.
Right. And then align your behavior with that. He even compares it to selling. You need to create a desire for yourself by consistently being positive, funny, nice, gentle, make her feel good, important.
Again, feels a little calculated maybe, but the core idea of being observant and kind seems okay.
It's all in the intention, isn't it? Is it genuine connection or just a strategy?
True. Okay, finally, this section title is Wild. Why it's easier to pick up good-looking women than plain ones. That sounds backwards.
Completely counterintuitive, yeah.
Yeah.
But he has a theory.
Let's hear it.
He argues many conventionally beautiful women actually value personality, sensitivity, humor, more than looks in a partner.
Really? Why?
Because, he suggests, some might be wary of really handsome guys. Maybe they assume handsome guys are empty, rely only on looks.
Huh. Never thought of it that way.
So they might actually prefer a more ordinary-looking guy who's fun, interesting, and lets her be the pretty one in the dynamic.
Interesting take. Challenges assumptions about attraction.
Definitely. It suggests personality can trump looks, even when society tells us otherwise.
Yeah, so wrapping up this deep dive into Wayne Ross's unique guide, what are the big recurring themes?
Well, definitely the idea of being different, standing out from the crowd, creating intrigue, like with that D technique.
Right, don't be predictable.
And prioritizing connection, friendship even, over just immediate sexual gratification, at least at the start.
Plus the power of simple things, being thoughtful, asking for help, telling a joke.
Yeah. It's a real snapshot of a certain perspective from a specific time, isn't it? The language, the assumptions, it's fascinating.
Absolutely. And looking at it now, whether you agree with any of it or frankly find some of it offensive, it does make you think about how advice and expectations around dating have changed. Or haven't changed.
For sure. It's a historical document, in a way, reflecting certain ideas about male-female dynamics. Understanding those ideas, even if we reject them, can be insightful.
Definitely. So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. Which of these old rules, if any, do you think still have some kind of echo today, and why? What does the way we talk about relationships now tell us about how things have evolved, or maybe stayed the same? Something to chew on.